After the first off week of the season in Season 6 of the JBL Cup Series, we are back at the walk for the second year in a row, and this time we brought different tires. The same tire that we used at Darlington, and we're going to have almost 3 seconds of tire fall off here for the Advanced Bus 400 at Rockingham Speedway. Halfway through the regular season after today, and to the win at the walk. What's up, everyone? It is Nathan Stapleton, and welcome to Rockingham Speedway, the walk, whatever you want to call it. And we are in store for a fun action here today. 2, 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide at the start. Maybe a early caution, maybe a long one. And tire fall off will be a big time story once again for the second race in a row. About 2.5 to 3 seconds of fall off, double of what it was last year. And we got a packed booth we gotta squeeze in here. We got LT, owner of Legacy Model Club, and we got a Krispy Kreme Natural Series driver of Keegan Thompson up here in the booth. Welcome to Rockingham Speedway.
Yeah, Staple, it's great to be back up here in the booth for Rockingham. I think this is going to be a very fantastic race if last season's race was any indication. But we also have the element of a new tire, like you mentioned. There's going to be a lot of fall off. Will that be any different than last season? Will these drivers need to adapt in a different way to this tire and how it drives? It's going to be interesting to see who can figure that out the quickest and who will win at Rockingham today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Nathan. And yeah, I will say the tire fall off is going to make a huge difference. We have a lot of rookies up the point standings that are racing here on a different tire, a different type of racetrack. So it'll be interesting to see how they correlate their racing times into this. But I'm super excited. The last race here was fantastic.
And hopefully we see another fantastic one. Of course, last year, like you said, Keegan, it came down to a 2 or 3 lap battle between a couple of cars of, I believe, Ace Garcia and someone else. And Ace Garcia was able to hang on with the outside lane move and got the race win. So now ask you this, LT. Last time out at Darlington, we saw 3 or 4 seconds of tire fall off. We don't see quite as significant to that level here today. Still going back maybe 2.5 to 3 seconds. 40 laps on tires, 40 laps on fuel, I should say. So 2 pit stops. How do you think that's going to shake out for 99 laps?
Yeah, it's definitely going to depend on what type of setup these cars have and what these drivers have. Do you want to push early on and get track position, or do you want to save your stuff for maybe the longer run? Obviously, the run is 40 laps, so you still have a long ways to go to get to that pit stop. So I think you're going to see differentiating strategies in this race, and we'll see who's saving their tires and who's not.
And we saw last time out at Darlington. Alexander always saved his stuff, races his way up to the front, and never looked back, and that could happen once again. Last year we saw an early caution with a couple of Joker's racing cars on lap 4. I'm gonna ask you this, Keegan, with some of the rookies up in the front, but mostly veterans, do you think we might see something similar, or do you think these guys know that, hey, we need to be careful at the start and just get through a nice one early on?
I think in this type of environment, with this type of fall off, people are going to be more conservative, like both veterans and rookies are going to be very conservative. Just waiting to see, because I know what this race is going to lead into if we get a long run. But I do think the rookies and veterans, like their not personalities, but their racing styles will showcase through here at the
And hopefully we see a nice clean start, not like last season. And with that being said, here are the point standings here for race 8 of the season, or after race 8. Jordan is cooking the field, has 7 top 10s in a row, and he has a 32-point lead over local Jordan in second. Anna Miller in third, minus 43. Stuart Grant, the only driver with multiple wins so far this season, is in fourth, minus 50. Jordan Stout is in fifth, minus 51. Same with Juan Garcia, also minus 51. Anna Abel is in 7th, minus 52. Juan Cunningham is in 8th, minus 57. Troy Bauer Alposa here today is in 9th, minus 58. And then running the out the top 10 is Logan Williams in number 38, minus 65. And on the front row, 2 drivers that we both know very well for everyone in the booth. We got Trey Barlow on the pole and Eli Bright in second, Nicholas Samadillo in third, and Aaron Abel in fourth. Matthew Hubert, the Homestead winner, in fifth, and then Local Dawn in sixth, Local Williams in seventh, and Eric Marco in eighth. And rounding out the top 10 is Nick Lopez and the Advanced Autobots Carter in the Advanced Autobots 400 of Outstanding Vitali. Last time out, he won at Darlington. LT and then Keegan, who do you guys think will win at Rockingham for race 9 of the season?
I'm going to go with the number 16 car of Eric Monaco. He only has one top 10 this season, and that was last week or 2 weeks ago at Darlington Raceway. I think today is where he breaks through the top 5, but also gets that win.
I'm going with a guy starting in the rear of the field, 28th place, but he's coming off 2 straight 4th place finishes in this car last season. Just was so fast near the end of the race and had a great finish in general. I'm going Jordan Stout.
Not a bad couple of pits like this. Jordan Stout won at Darlington last time out in the National Series, won the 500 in the Cup, and he's been on a roll as of late. After today, we will be halfway through the regular season, race 9 of 18 in the regular season already, and it'll be Trey Barlow and Eli Bright leading us to the green for race 9 of the season and for the Advanced Autobots 400. We are once again, for the second year in a row, racing at the Watt. We are Green Flag Racing for the Advanced Autobots 400. A clean start so far, 4 wide in the middle of the field. And actually, it's not a clean start.
Got a caution, yeah.
And it looks
It
like
didn't take long, did it?
yeah, the number 4 of Kenneth Miller and the number 14 of Brian Farka went around in 3 and 4. And I mentioned the crazy starts, and well, did not take long. Lap number 1, and for the second year in a row, we have the early caution at Rockingham, and I was not really expecting it to be on lap 1 though. That is kind of shocking. But lap 1 caution at Rockingham.
Yeah, I heard some scrapes going down the backstretch. I just thought somebody got into the wall a little bit, but must have been much bigger than that. So we don't see anybody coming down pit road though, looks like.
Seems like a teammate issue here too, so I don't want to stir anything up. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you might be on something. I think it might have been teammates between the 4 and the 14, unfortunately. Tough break early on, but luckily that's what we needed. And maybe we will have a long green flag one with a single file restart, a chaotic start, and let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day in the Advanced Autobots 400 at Rockingham Speedway. Well, copy and paste from last year's Advanced Autobots 400. A 3-wide squeeze moment, but this time instead of lap 4, it was on lap number 1 between Duncan Halverston, Kenneth Miller, 2 rookies, and then nowhere to go when Anthony Hernandez just gets taken out. And Falca just runs right up the racetrack into his teammate, and that's going to spin the 14 around as well. And unfortunately, that's going to be a 4-car incident on lap number 1 to get this one off here at Rockingham Speedway. Hopefully that is not a sign of what's to come, but a tough crash for 3 out of the 9 rookies out in the field here in the JBL Cup Series, and a really tough play for Anthony Hernandez. Not any of his fault at all, and unfortunately he gets involved in this one.
We're seeing a real speed here going down the back straightaway. You see the 15 right at the middle of the ball, just squeezing the 4 into the 6, and then that 17 Breed Ryder runs right into his teammate, nowhere to go. And it's just a rough day to be a Ford. In a squeeze situation like that, it just has never worked.
Saw last year, we saw it once again, and it's very ironic that you said that it was all 4 cars for Ford, so tough play for Ford right there, and a early lap 1 caution, and nobody else went down pit road besides the cars that were involved in the caution. So Trey Barlow will still be the race leader, and it'll be Barlow and Bright once again on the first restart of the day will be the only one. We'll see what the walk is cooking. But let's go ahead and get back to the restart early on in the Advanced Autobus 400. Welcome back to Rockingham Speedway. After an early caution between what we can all assume was teammate problems between Kenneth Miller and Brian Varga, of course you guys already saw it. We will go back winning on lap 6 of 99 next time, but nobody went down pit road besides the two cars that were involved. So everyone should be on the same strategy around lap 40 for the first round of pit stops. It will be Trey Barlow, Eli Bright, Matthew Hubert, Logan Williams with a good start, Nicholas Amadeo, Local Dawn, Nick Lopez, and then the number 19 Amal Connington, Duncan Wood in 8, and then Eric Marco will be inside the top 10. And unfortunately, the number 11 of Van Abel started 4th and dropped all the way back to 12th. But it's going to be a single file restart this time. Hopefully, it is a much better start. And if it is, then Trey Ball will be able to keep the race lead. And let's see what ends up happening at the early restart. Back wing for Trey Ball. Eli Bright getting a good jump on the outside lane. That's not really good work out for him though, as he's going to go way to the outside. And here comes Matthew Hubert and Logan Williams.
Yeah, definitely not the restart that Eli Bright wanted. He looks like he looked high and then just got the wall a little bit. Now he's just going to be on the outside lane. Maybe he can get down in front of the 77 of Sam Adio, but it looks like he won't. Here we go. Number 38 car of Logan Williams, though, taking second place off of Matthew Hubert, setting his sights on Trey Bardo.
That is flying right now. And I was shocked to see how badly they fanned out on that restart. Joe Rutkowski damn near got the wall. But here comes Matthew Hubert. He fought down off that top, coming on Logan Williams for second once more.
And Eli Boyd going back to the bottom. That bottom is where you want to be here at Rockingham. The outside lane works in 1 and 2 sometimes if you have the car for it, but it really does not work in 3 and 4. Eli Boyd has had a good one here today finally. He had a good one at Darlington, but didn't get the top 5 one that he probably deserved. And how about Nick Lopez? Last year's winner at Darlington, he kind of struggled this season compared to his teammates, and Eli Bright looks to be fast on this restart now that we are a couple laps in, from 3rd to 2nd for Eli Bright. But it's still all to a Barlow. That was a little bit tight into 1 and 2 with Williams and Bright. And so far, Trey Barlow's trying to get his second career Cup Series win, but he has his good brother of Eli Bright chasing him down, with Logan Williams, Hubert, and Nick Lopez the top 5.
Yeah, shout out to the PS crew, the PlayStation crew being 1-2, Eli Bright and Trey Bardo. But yeah, it's great to see Eli Bright run well, especially as the owner of Legacy Motor Club. He had back-to-back 14th place finishes, but he still doesn't have a top 10 this season. So it's good to see him be in a top 5 and contend for a win here today. But yeah, we got some big names up at the front. Logan Williams, Matthew Hubert, you see the 54 of Nick Lopez. Even, oh man! Wow, he shoved his nose on the underneath of the 5 car there. I thought that was going to be a little bit of a wreck, but they made it work. Matthew Hubert will pay the price of that. And back up front, Eli Bright run down Trey Bardo, Keegan.
Eli's coming. He's not afraid to get aggressive, especially with a friend like that. But here he goes. If he's peeking to the inside, he might get him just down this front straightaway. He's peeking. Nathan, he might get it.
Trying to get the inside lane to work in 1 and 2, and he's going to make it easy. Trey Ball's just going to let Eli Bright go on by, and maybe Trey Ball is saying, hey, Eli, go ahead and lead some laps. You've not had as good of a season as Barlow has, and I think Ball's going to save his stuff a little bit. We still have 30 laps or so until we see pit stops, and it will be 2.5 to 3 seconds of fall off. It's not going to be as early as Darlington for the tire fall off, but it will still be a factor, and Barlow's trying to answer stuff a little bit. Looks like we do have the number 6 of Fernandez. He went back down on pit road, I believe. I don't know if he had a violation or if he just got a problem with something. But he is a lap down in the number 6, same with the 4 and the 12. So tough way for Sam Toller and Kenneth Miller as well. But Logan Williams, he's been the man of the hour in the National Series so far, and trying to transfer that over into the Cup Series.
Yeah, as the driver being second in points in the Krispy Kreme National Series, I'm kind of sick of seeing his back bumpers. So, yeah, he's crushing it in the National Series. But here he is in the JBL Cup Series, also killing it. You see number 3 of Rogel Dorn, though, taking place on Nick Lopez in the 54. But, yeah, back up front, Trey Bardo, I know he's sort of his stats are sort of being shadowed by Jordan Edwards' stats because he has 5 straight top 10s. That's not talked about enough. So Trey Bardo is really doing well in the JBL Cup Series now. So I like what you said is that I think Trey Bardo's saving his stuff. I think he's just waiting, maybe letting Eli burn his stuff up, and maybe he'll get him back in the later half of this run, Keegan.
I think tire conservation is really coming into play here. You see Logan Williams and Eli Bright, maybe they're pushing more, and Bardo more with the guys that start near the front, and the veteran guys, like I said, maybe hanging back and saying, you guys burn your stuff, I'll wait and get you in the long run.
And that's definitely going to be the key factor here today, because 40 laps is a long time, and the 3 seconds of tire fall, we saw that yesterday and last night in the National Series at Northwestboro, and oh boy, what bomb that was. And that has significant tire as well, so tire's going to be a factor, and it looks like Eli is pulling away from Trey Bardo. Ball's getting caught from Logan Williams, Nick Lopez, and Rockingham doing all here. And how about Ronald Pennington in the number 19? He's had a very strong season, has had a couple of rough finishes as of late, but he's starting to make his way up to the front. And once again, Jordan Edwards trying to get his 8th straight top 10, and he is inside the top 10 as of now, early on in the Advanced Autobots 400. And I will just say, last weekend we unveiled the All-Star Race format and who's all in as of now. And a lot of these drivers up front are in, but for drivers like, say, Kennington, he's not in yet. Same with Dio, he's not in. Monaco, he's not in. The easiest way to get into the All-Star Race is just winning a race before we get to Newsman in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, that All-Star race is going to be very exciting. It's going to be even more exciting to see who can get into that race. You will see these guys definitely have that on the back of their mind, racing here at Rockingham. But Ronald Kennington, we saw heartbreak for him at Homestead with his blown tire. Obviously, I don't believe we jinxed him that race. I don't really remember, but he was actually not too bad in Discord. He actually was pretty content about it. He didn't lose his cool at all, which was nice to see. But yeah, it's a very close quarters racing here though, between Lopez and Dorn and Kennington. They're in bumper to bumper. Maybe just saving stuff for the later half of this run. We'll see. Looks like we're halfway through this run, so yeah, these guys looks like the pace is slowing a little bit.
As I will say though, as we get longer in this run, I think the different types of racing that we see right now, like we see people hanging back, we see people super close quarters, like you said. I think the longer this run goes on, the pace is going to keep on slowing down, and we're going to see drivers maybe not completely fall off, but they're definitely going to showing signs of tire need.
And sometimes some of these drivers are better than others when it comes to that tire fall off and saving those tires. And I think, honestly, I don't know if Barlo's really saving himself right now. He might just be falling off because he got passed by Logan Williams and might be under fire from Nick Lopez and Logan Dorn. But how about Eli Blight? Meanwhile, he's pulled out to a 2-second advantage now. Cannot get past Hernandez, who's a lap down. But a 2-second lead for Eli Blight, and this is not really a surprise. He was running up front inside the top 5 at Darlington. Just didn't get the finish that he probably deserved. And once again, trying to get another good one here at Rockingham. And oh, this is going to be close. Look at Logan Dorn trying the outside lane in 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's risky. I don't know if that's going to work. Looks like he won't get the run off. I don't know if Kennington will get to his inside. Oh, he's still hanging in there, though. Looks like he'll go to the outside again. But, yeah, what I realized is that 38 cut into Eli Bright's lead by about a couple tenths that last lap. Well, now it stayed equal again, so maybe Eli's just really that good. I thought he was going to maybe fall off in a little bit, but no, he's still keeping pace. I don't. He's kind of close to this lap car though. He's pushing him down the back straightaway. That's. I don't. Oh, you got to be careful here.
Oh,
He's giving him a bumper. He moved him out of the way. Anthony Hernandez just got the boot.
These two aren't the closest of friends either. They've been teammates in other series, but they don't like each other. I definitely was worried there for a second that he was getting way too close. But yeah, like you said, William is winless this season, but I think Eli is just as hungry to get that first top 10 of the season and finally give your team LT a little bit of mojo.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for LT's Legacy Motor Club team, and it's kind of odd. I've said it all year. The payday is just off the charts this year, and I believe it's been 6 different teams that have won a points paying race. And if Eli wins, or if Rockingham wins, that will be yet another different team win this season for Formula or Legacy Motor Club. So the payday was out the charts insane. And unfortunately, we will catch up to the 14 here in a little bit. Don't know if we will before pit stops. Susrai is off the pace in the back of the field, same with the 4 and the 12 and the 1 of Louise. And that's going to be something that we will have to really keep an eye out for. Is that it's only a 1.017 mile track. It's just over a mile. So eventually lap cars will be a factor all day long.
For sure, Nathan. I think you hit the nail on the head there. You see Rogo Dorn taking a spot on 19 of Ronald Kennington. Looks like that'll be for the 5th position. But yeah, looks like who's that? Oh, Jordan Edwards, the 9 car. I see him making his way towards the front. You mentioned it that he has 7 straight top 10s. Now he's looking to even further that to 8 races. I don't know what the record is in the JBL Cup Series for consecutive top 10s, but I can't imagine that anything is longer than what Jordan Edwards has accomplished. But yeah, he's making his way towards the front. Oh! Gave the bumper to the 77 and Samadillo. Man, aggressive.
That aggressiveness might have been given him 7 straight top 10s, but this group of drivers, Hubert, the 3, and the 19, the 9, they've been stuck together this whole race. And I think this 9 car might give the same aggressiveness even to his teammates.
Oh my goodness, that was very aggressive. He's going to try the outside. I think that 9 car is really fast on the long one here. And he's going to try and get past his teammate. And if he wants to get this lane to work, he has to clear him into turn 4. And that's not going to be the case. And now he's going to lose 1, 2, maybe 3 spots. Stuart Brown is going to maybe move the 5 out of the way. These guys are getting aggressive here on a 1 mile track, not even a short track. And this is just absolutely insane stuff here. Logan Williams is not really closing it in a little bit. And yeah, he's behind Hernandez, so that's not going to help him. And Hernandez might get moved by Logan Williams, and he does. First and second has moved Hernandez already. That's gotta be a tough feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them, to be honest. I mean, Anthony Hernandez is just sort of in the way. He's running the bottom lane, and the leaders are trying to make pace. So, yeah, I would have gave the bumper to him too. So, yeah, just aggressive racing we're seeing here. We're not even halfway through the race yet, and these guys are really going at it. We see Jordan Edwards falling now after he went to that outside, lost a couple positions, but maybe even the 77 got back to him and repaid the favor there. But yeah, Stuart Grattan, though, I remember saying at Homestead, don't look now. He's coming up to the front, and here we are again at Rockingham. He's made his way to the front. He had some bad luck 2 weeks ago at Darlington with getting part of that big wreck. He had a really fast car, but it looks like he's a fast car here yet again today at Rockingham Speedway.
My take on the rookies being a little inexperienced here is definitely not aging well. This 3-car Roval Dorn is catching up to this group right here, and that 47 Stuart Grattan having an incredible season of his own. They're just holding their own against these veterans here. as you see this sweet car catching up to that 54. But Trey Bardo seems to be not as good as we had seen, but maybe they can make an adjustment on this pit stop coming up in a few laps.
And that's going to be very important. You got to make pit stops, and honestly, everyone needs to make some adjustments because Eli Blight is absolutely hauling the mail on this long one. That 42 was fast on the short one. He now has a 3-second lead. It was 3.5, so Logan might have caught up a little bit, but Eli Blight, I think this might be the fastest car I've seen out of the Legacy Motor Club team all year, LT.
Yeah, I'm hoping you didn't just jinx it there. I'm a little bit nervous just sitting up here in a booth watching my car to lead this race. Yeah, I mean, this series, anything could happen. I mean, it could be, blown engines, blown tires. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, we still have a long way to go. Definitely is not guaranteed for us here at Legacy Motor Club with Eli winning. We still have a lot longer to go. We have a lot of competitive drivers in this field. We still have 2 pit stops to go. So, yeah, there's a lot that could happen. So, I think one to watch is Stuart Grant. He's pushing not Nick Lopez. That's Ronald Kennington in the 19. Looks like he was pushing him through those corners. But when we get to the inside, Kennington shut the door on him, though. Yeah, close quarters racing here in this race, Keegan.
I think a bump and run is going to come through LT. If he can get to like that 47, did not like the way the 19 ran. Him up the track, he's getting close. I mean, that 47 is fast. There is a yellow and a chance at catching up to that 42. I think the 47 and a lot of these Chevys up near the front, they can maybe give him a run for his money. There's another lap car.
Oh,
Them RFK cars are not giving a good time. That 42.
Oh my goodness. This is more bumping ones than what we saw last year in this race, and this race is already chaotic, and the only thing that we changed was add more tire. We did nothing else with the I, and these guys are just aggressive. And speaking of aggressive, Eli's lead just went from 3.5 to 2.5 as he just bumped to 17. And we might see pit stops, and yes we are. Here we go. Eli's gonna do the undercut on that 41.
that was actually a really good idea. You saw that he lost half a second in that previous lap, just being stuck behind the lap car. It was good to just pit then and not lose more time to the second place of Logan Williams. So we see an undercut by Eli Bright. Stuart Gratton is in. Jordan Edwards. Is that Joe Rukowski into as well? I think that was 43.
Yep.
But yeah, this undercut could prove to be really really worthful. See some of these other guys. Juan Garcia in. There's the 41 of Alexander Rowe. Yeah, so 4 tires and fuel for these guys, Keegan.
Yeah, I will say though, I love Eli beating them to the punch in that call, pitting before everybody else, and just see Jordan Edwards, another great call. But we have an issue. Jordan's out. Maybe I shouldn't have picked him. That's a problem getting on pit road.
I don't know if he got turned or if his crew was like, stay out, never mind, pit. So, that was unfortunate
He was like Keegan James.
The commentator as a whole at this point. Logan Williams to the overcut. And watch out!
54! Yep.
He is damaged. I think the 54 is damaged on that right side from the looks of it. 38 car was a second place car though, so we'll see if he is damaged out of that. Very small pit road. So, you don't see the 14 get into 11 there. So yeah, it's hard to not make contact on this pit road.
I hope for the 38's sake, he's having a great car. I hope there's not too much damage, but Eli beat him onto the punch, and he is running away with it, seemingly.
Yeah, we'll see how big the lead he has after the pit road cycle concludes, but yeah, that was very chaotic. I don't think we're done with having cautions the way that these guys are racing here today, and we'll see Travis Crampton actually is staying out in the number 45. He's doing the overcut massively, and he's still staying out.
That's interesting. So, oh man, he is really slow on those worn tires. Hopefully no one runs him over here. So Hopefully Kennington gets by clean. Yeah, he's just hanging on. Just a very different strategy call. It could work. Oh, he looks like he's gonna pit this lap. But yeah, I mean it's gonna hurt him on that short run, but they gotta hope that this run goes through and he could make that up in the long run. See Eli Bright though, looks like he'll have a huge lead. Looks like Stuart Grattan. What was that, 8 seconds?
I think that might be 8-second lead for Eli White here, and it is.
That 45 strategy is not going to age well, I don't think, unless we get the caution to keep him up in a different, like a lingering move.
Yes, I don't blame him for drawing something, but that was really, really late. Pit stop started around that 41, and he stayed out till that 45, 46. So that's definitely gonna be an interesting
It's
call.
not like he gained anything either, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
He was very much off the pace.
Yeah, I didn't see that 45 anywhere up for him. He's actually, I think he might be a lap down now. In the number 45, where he will be at least. Jordan Stout, Will Pit Keegan is 1 lap down. We have 25, 24 cars on the relap, and oh yeah, that's not going to look out for the 45. He's going to be almost dead last, so tough break for the number 45, but Eli Blight has a 6.5 second lead over the field, almost past halfway. Actually, I think we're past halfway in this one. Stuart Grattan is in second, and third is still Logan Williams. It might have a little bit of damage. Fourth is the number 24 of Trey Barlow. Jordan Ellis trying to get another top 5 and another top 10, currently in 5th. Nick Lopez, Joe Witkowski also did the undercut, and now he's inside the top 10. And then the 34 of John Anders and Local Dawn. And right now the top 10 is the 5 of Matthew Hubert. But 50 laps in, 49 to go, and we only have 24 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show the pace that Eli has. I mean, with all those cars lapped already, he's really killing everybody right now. But I don't want to jinx it. Obviously, we still have half of the race to go. Good to see Joe Witkowski have a good run. Obviously, he pitted early, so he probably made up a lot of time on that pit stop. He's probably going to suffer a little bit on the later half of this run, but it's good to see him be in the top 10. But 34 car, haven't talked too much about him today. John Andrews in the top 10 too. Looks like he has a good run going, Keegan.
Yeah, that 34, he's having a decent, pretty gnarly season so far, and I think that undercut, he might have taken the undercut, and that undercut is so good at a track like Rockingham until it isn't. You will see in about 20 laps that 34, 43 might be falling off way harder. But one thing I want to note is that 54 and Nick Lopez got spared. See, that was some heavy contact with a 30 on pit road. Doesn't seem to be missing a beat about where he was beforehand, sitting in 6th place.
It definitely has some white side damage that you saw right there for Nick Lopez. Doesn't seem to be affecting him here too bad. And you mentioned the undercut. That's going to be very interesting because Eli Blight, he also did the undercut. He's growing his lead for now, but most likely Stuart Grattan will probably close in later on in this green flag 1. This is just insane on how big of a lead Eli Blight has here today. Andrews to the inside of Nick Lopez, but he's going to rip the outside lane. I think that call is just fine for Nick Lopez. If anything, that might be helping his performance. Cannot tell you enough about these 100 motorsports cars. Barlow 5 straight, trying to get 6 straight, and then Jordan 7 straight, trying to get 8 straight top 10s. Just fantastic stuff here at Rockingham, and back up to the front. As Stuart Grattan is trying to get past the 14th, but he can't. And then Eli Blight has caught up to a gaggle of cars. The 10 is racing him, being lapped down. And oh no, Ian Marco's on pit road.
Oh.
He just had a tire go down.
Oh no. Well, there goes my pick. Sorry, I apologize for maybe jinxing you, Eric Monaco, for picking you, but yeah, just bad luck there. Hate to see that for a 16 team. They had a good run going. I think they were in the top 10, top 15. But yeah, Eli Bright keeping about a 8-second lead on Stuart Grattan. This is quite a performance. I don't know if anybody could really run him down unless you're the caution. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say. Well, actually, these Hendrick cars, I think you pointed it out, Stapleton, how Bardo's going for his 6th straight and Edwards his 8th straight. Just really impressive run by Hendrick Motorsports this season. Reggie Fogelman doing great things at Hendrick Motorsports and just giving his drivers the equipment they need to be able to excel like this. It's really impressive.
This whole Hendrick camp has been really great today, but the one we haven't seen the 48, but that 5-car Matthew Hoover has been everywhere. He's having a really good season. 1-2 races back at Homestead. But oh my, John Andrews getting aggressive on that 54. He's still looking to the inside. I'm curious how he enters this corner right here, side by side. He's got a shove from Roller Board behind him. Heavy. Aggressiveness early on this run.
And we've seen that all day. The aggressiveness level is off the charts, way more than last year. And because of that, I don't think we are out of the woods from getting any caution, especially when Bolton does that. A very tight move right there on John Anders, and he comes back for Hubert in the number 5 machine inside the top 10. Kennington is getting a little bit of a pressure moment from Andrew Miller, still in the point standings. And the 48 is not doing too bad. Juan Garcia is currently 15th in the race, and we'll see if what happens for him. And this is a crush mode. Eric Margo is back out on the racetrack. He's going to be on flush tires. He's going to have to pit again, but we'll see what ends up happening. But unfortunately, he is several laps down, 5 laps down, so we can't really top out him too much. And the undercut, I think, is not looking for Eli right now, because it was 8 seconds and now it's down to 6.
Yeah, I was just going to point that out, that it went down, I think it was like 7.5 down to now 6.2. So looks like Eli's just stuck behind his 2 car. He's been probably, he gives him the bumper. That's, Eli is aggressive today. He's not waiting on lap cars. He's locked in today. He really wants to win this race, and he's going to have to use the bumper if he's going to win. So, yeah, looks like, still 6.4 seconds now on Stuart Grant in 2nd place, and Stuart Grant has that huge pack to get through. So, that smoke I saw?
Yeah, no! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Kennington upside down at Rockingham.
Oh, watch out. Oh my.
Watch out, 23.
Watch, he's still loose. He's. Oh.
Oh, we are still wrecking.
We're still wrecking. It's 24.
They need. Oh, yep.
Oh my goodness.
Watch out.
This management is not pretty.
And that's why we have the race back to the line rule out of NASCAR in real life. Well then. 2nd straight race. We have a big time wet. And this is going to be interesting. They should be able to make it on fuel from here. So I would imagine everyone else is going to come down pit road. And there's the 42, 47, 38, the 3, the 77, 21. And once again, this is going to shake up everything with some of the front runners going to get taken out by the big one. Oh my goodness. I'm not lost for words. That was huge. And Eli Boy is on pit road. And we'll see.
Can these tires make it? There's 35 laps. And these types of tires, the way they've been falling and the way it has affected the race, I'm curious if this final run on this tire set with aggressiveness, if they can last.
Yeah, they should be able to last, but they have to basically treat it as a full one, almost. And this is the opportunity that Stuart Grant wanted. He can have a restart, and we'll see if he can get his 3rd win on the season here today. But with that being said, we're going to sort everything out, and we will get back to the restart with about 32 laps to go in the van stall, but one of Eli Bright still leads. Let's see what happened for the big one at the Watt. Well, deja vu has happened for Ronald Kennington at Homestead. The last time LT was in the booth, he had a tire going, that went down when he was inside the top 5. This time, LT's in the booth, one's inside the top 10, and he has the tire go down into turns 1 and 2. And anyway, this is going to be a long caution, so get back of popcorn. Off turn number 2, number 19, Ron Kennington, just has the tire go down, goes down the racetrack, almost makes contact with the 8, and makes a little bit of contact with Eric Monaco. And because he had a tire go down, off of turn 2, the car just went straight into the outside wall. And luckily Hernandez, Fitzroy, and Garcia all avoid him. But you see that 31 back there of Owen Miles. He does not avoid. I don't know what he is doing in that car racing machine. But he just runs right into the back of the right rear corner panel of the right rear bumper of the 19. They both slide into the outside wall. And then it's Darlington all over again. Unfortunately, several drivers has nowhere to go. Joe Rutkowski slams into the 31 into the 19. Eli Bright is going to do a nice avoidance here and go onto the apron. And he's going to be just fine. And at this point, it's like, oh, it's it. No, it's not. Because then nowhere to go for the number 2 of Zeidel. Owen Miles flips off his teammate. Upside down at Rockingham. Bruno Diacomo out San Vitale. Matthew Burnett is going to get avoided barely. Jordan Stout with a little bit of a tap. Bradley Weem as well is going to get through. So, still not that bad, right? Well, then Stuart Glenn, he's going to get through. He's going to make a little bit of contact with the 23. And some of these guys get close with Ronald Kennington here. And then, right here, Stuart Glenn runs into the side of the 23, and that's what causes that mess. And then Rutkowski, he's not done getting hit, as he's going to get hit by Owen Miles, or not Owen Miles, by Aaron Abel. And then, we're not done. In comes the 4, in comes the 24, the 17, the 9, the 3's going to escape on the outside, the 34, the 54, everyone just piles on in. And then a big hit, driver's side, Viva Matthew Hubert in the number 5 machine. So, 2 big ones essentially here at Rockingham, and the track became blocked, not once, but twice, and several cars are going to be torn up in this one.
Alright, so here's the full speed replay of what happened. It's going to be a long full speed replay, but you see the 19 of Kennington blow the tire going to turn number 1. 77 and the 21 get by clean. He's just trying to get back down the racetrack, avoids 8 and a 16. Hits the wall here. He's just trying to hang on for dear life. But here, the 31, he has all the time in the world to avoid 19. He has a spotter telling him that he's slow, and he just runs straight to the back of him. It's honestly embarrassing. It's caused this entire wreck. If he just didn't hit Kennington, none of these cars would be destroyed. I mean, all these teams should send the bill to Colleague because he's the one who did it. So, yeah, just hard hits here. I think all of this could have been avoided. It took out half the field for a car. My gosh, he took massive hits. Hopefully he's all right, Kenneth Miller. But yeah, this wreck could have been avoided. I hate that all these cars got torn up. Just on. Honestly, I feel like a mistake by the 31. So, yeah, we'll see. See what happens.
Hopefully we don't see this next week at Talladega, but it's probably gonna happen at Talladega. 2 races in a row with big ones, and the big lead that Eli Boy had is absolutely erased. So, we're gonna have a late race restart with about 35 laps to go. And we'll see on what Eli Blake can do if he can win at the Watt. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway after multiple big ones right there on the same lap. And that has taken out the majority of the field. We only have 22 cars left on the racetrack. And it will be Eli Blight still leading. And then Stuart Grant trying to get Stillman on the season. Logan Williams, Local Dawn, Nicholas Samadillo, Duncan Ward, Andrew Miller, Zachary Fitzwater, Noah Clifton, Juan Garcia, Wyatt Wilkinson, and Alexander Rowe are the 12 cars on the lead lap. And everyone else is 1 or 2 laps down. And then the 9, the point leader is out. The 54, 34, 45, 14, 5, 17, 24. 16 is 4 laps down, so we actually have 23 cars left. The 2, the 19, 11, 43, and the 4 are all out from the big one. Multiple big ones. We still have a 31, 32 lap one to the finish. And a great restart from Eli Blight, a bad restart from Stuart Grant, and Logan Williams is going to go way high, just like what Eli did on the first restart. And look at all these rookies, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all rookies at Rockingham Speedway.
Yeah, very impressive by the rookies today. Not good for Logan Williams, though. He's going to be stuck on the outside there. Samadillo, though, in 4th place. Rogel Dorn in 3rd. Stuart Grattan in 2nd. Eli Blight in the lead. It's going to be one heck of a run to the finish. Looks like 21 of Andrew Miller taking a spot on the 8 of Duncan Ward. These guys are getting at it, Keegan.
This is the time we have been to Eli Bright for the lead in a long time. There are new faces at the front. After that big wreck, we have new faces at 77. Nicholas Samadillo are coming. That Stuart Grattan is closing. This 3 and 77 might have something for him too.
This is definitely not going to be over. We might only have 12 cars on the lead lap, but all these drivers have a realistic shot at getting a top 5. And especially, I like all the drivers inside the top 5. Of Eli Blight, Stuart Grant, Logan Dawn, Nicholas Samadillo, and Andrew Miller out of nowhere. He was just outside the top 10, and now he's inside the top 5 with a shot at getting his 2nd win on the season. And beyond the season, Keegan was saying how this is exactly what the restart that Stuart Grant wanted. And he's trying to capitalize, but Eli Blight is still pulling away. And now he's going to have a challenger from behind of Local Dawn and Mr. Nicholas Samadillo out of nowhere.
Yeah, you mentioned that Stuart Grattan really won that restart, but Eli Blight definitely did not. He had a 7-second lead basically just diminish in the blink of an eye. And now he has to hold off all these hard chargers in this race. We got about 30 laps to go, a little less than 30 laps to go. Can Eli Blight hold these guys off? There won't be another pit stop, assuming that these guys can hold on to their tires, though. Stuart Grattan, though, to the inside of Eli Blight.
This is a challenge we have seen from against this 42 in this race, and it's the rookie Stuart Grattan. He's hungry, but at the same time, I don't know who is hungrier than Eli Blight right now to get a win.
Eli's going to try the outside lane. He is surrounded by rookies. And how about Samadillo? If Samadillo wins here today, that'll be his first Career Cup win, and he will be in the All-Star race in 4 weeks' time. This could be a huge opportunity for this car. Of course, this car won last year's championship with Josh Williamson behind the wheel. And Samadillo's had a very consistent season. And he's about getting turned by Andrew Miller to the inside almost, exiting turn number 2. The aggressive rate is just off the charts here. Look, Williams has a shot both for the RCR cars. And then look at Alexander Rowe in 8th and Zachary Fitzwater in 9th.
Yeah, I mean, impressive run by even Fitzwater. He has not had a really good season whatsoever, so it's good to see him have a good run going. Eli Blight, though, looks like he's fallen back. He has to hold off the 38 car of Logan Williams, Rogel Dorn, and Duncan Ward, RCR teammates, going at it too. These guys are really aggressive late in this race, trying to get track position as much as possible.
That top side for Eli might have been a death sentence. He gets that top, they get by him, they just won't stop coming. But that Stuart Grattan, that 47, is pulling away, but I would not count out that 77. Nicholas Samadillo, he's hungry for his first win, but Andrew Miller is right with him. They can make a late charge.
I'm liking that 21 Keegan. Andrew Miller looks really, really fast here after that restart. and he might have a shot at getting his second win on the season. Of course, he won at Phoenix in dominating fashion, and LT was in the booth for that one. This is another mile long racetrack, but it is nothing like Phoenix Raceway, but he does not care. You might need to call him 1 mile Miller or something, I don't know. Very cheesy nickname. 21 laps to go. Brown in the lead, but he's not really gaining a lot. Sam Dio and Miller are still maintaining between those two, and actually got a great one off turn number 2 for Sam Dio. Local Williams in 4th, and unfortunately, I might have just jinxed it for the drive LT, as Eli Boy is still dropping back, and he might be under fire from the RCL duo for the 5th place spot.
Yeah, I mentioned it when you brought him up that like we still had a long way to go in the race when we were talking about him, and anything could happen in these races. Cautions could happen like we saw, big ones could happen like we saw, and things could change in the blink of an eye, and that's what happened for Eli Bright. He was leading the race with 7 seconds, and now he's in 5th place, far back from the leaders. So yeah, that's just how the races go. That's JBL Cup Series. So it's going to be interesting to see if Stuart Grant could hold off Nicholas Samadio, who has had quite a season so far. He only has one top 10, and that was at Daytona. So he's actually finishing like the 10th to 16th range all season long, but he just hasn't stepped that further into the top 5 and had that winning pace. So it's nice to see him have a chance at this thing late in the race.
That All-Star race is calling for the 77. He wants it, and he wants it bad, but this race just shows how much a concert can change and how quickly a switch can flip with Eli and Stuart Gratton. And that's exactly what he wanted. But this 21 is about as hungry. Andrew Miller, coming off a second place finish, he's hungry and wants that win.
Got
Looking inside, too.
Yep, second place, won at Darlington. He almost won at Darlington with a side-by-side battle, and he's trying to get a win here today. And Andrew Miller, this pairing between Miller and Juan Duani and Ripple Racing is looking out to be a very strong combination. Of course, not the first time that we've seen the 21 car be strong in the Cup Series here on this channel. Jordan Stout was very strong in this car last year as well. So I'm not too surprised, but Stuart Gratton, welcome to the Ground Racing Technologies Cup Series. Trying to get his 3rd win in 9 races as a rookie, but he still has to manage his stuff with 16 more laps. And one thing that will play into a factor, most likely we might catch up with lap traffic here of the Carl Racing duo and Bruno Giacomo. And we saw already earlier, lap traffic can cause the winner of this race. And for Miller, the 5-season veteran, trying to get his 2nd win on the season.
Yeah, you made a good point about lap traffic. We saw even lap traffic play a huge role in last season's race at Rockingham, where I believe the 7 car had to hold off a late charge with lap traffic. So that might be the case this season, where Stuart Grant has to make his way through lap traffic and hold off the 21 as well. So that'll be an interesting factor later on. We'll see when they catch the lap traffic. But Andrew Miller, he's setting his sights on Stuart Gratton.
If it's anything like last season, though, I kind of want lap traffic to give into play, come into play, not for Stuart Gratton's sake, but for our entertainment. Andrew Miller is setting his sights, like you said, and he is on his way. And if there wasn't lap traffic coming into play, I think he might have catch him on raw speed.
Oh yeah, I think Miller might be faster than Stuart Gratton. Don't know where he came from, but that's kind of been his mentality the last 2 races. Didn't really see him a lot at Darlington, but once the big one happened, then he was a top 2 contender. And once again, the big one strikes, he pops up out of nowhere, just running inside the top 12, and he might have a shot at this race win. Gratton still in the race lead, but a little lap traffic, and it's going to be interesting on how these 3 will fare. They're definitely the slowest cars on the racetrack right now, and oh boy, it's going to come down to these car colors and lap traffic. We saw that last year with lap traffic, and that's going to be a factor once again, but Stuart Gratton is growing his lead a little bit. It went from 0.8 to now 1.07, so Gratton is pulling away here late in this one. But a shout out to Alexander running inside the top 7 now for him. And he's had a good race here, a good race there. But he survived the big one, and he's most likely get a top 10 one here today. And, well, when I said that San Diego was losing pace, now it's back down to 0.8 of a second, and hello lap traffic.
Yeah, it might be that dirty air that Stuart Grattan is getting into now with the lap traffic, and now that's going to allow Andrew Miller to maybe close in. We'll see how much Andrew Miller closes in this lap by. He's got down to 9/10, so it'll be still about a second. Oh, Stuart Grattan's going to go to the outside of the lap traffic. Can't he make that work? I thought he was going to maybe lay a bumper to them, but he might clear them all going into these corners.
We haven't seen the top work all day, but if cars are this slow, he can just take the advantage up from it. And he's passing these cars pretty cleanly, but Andrew Miller is coming, and he's coming fast.
This is going to be very interesting. He's going to run the bottom, ground running the top side. The 16 is going to hold up the 40 of the 21. Oh my goodness, and now that's going to allow San Diego to catch up as well.
Grattan's still running that top. He's clear.
That 47's fast. Really, really fast.
He got through that traffic way better than I anticipated.
Yeah, that might have been maybe Chevrolet orders there. Maybe the 16 held up to 21 a little bit on purpose to allow Stuart Grattan, the other Chevrolet, to get by and grow his lead. So maybe that's what happened. But yeah, just 21 stuck behind lap traffic. He cannot get by them. The Collie cars are just slow, kind of in the way, not going to lie. And Stuart Grattan is gone.
That 21 is very skeptical to go to the top side. He's not as quick to making that decision. He's 47 is, but that 77 don't care. He puts that P2. That 38's from up too. Look at Logan Williams.
Oh my goodness. Well, you want entertainment. Well, you got entertainment for second place. And this is some very sketchy stuff between San Diego, Andrew Miller, and Logan Williams here. And Andrew is mad. He's really mad about turning off mode. Sam D's gonna go on the outside, and lap cars might just cost Andrew Miller not only the win, not only second, but maybe even a third place finish. He might get fourth. He's gonna go 3 while he's about to turn the 10. Oh my goodness!
I don't know how they did it right. Oh my goodness, I thought they were all going to wreck there.
Manufacturer orders might have been able to win, though. That 10 car was not doing him any favors. That Stuart Grattan is gone.
Gone might be an understatement. A 3-second lead with 3 laps to go for Stuart Grattan. San Diego is now in second, Miller in third, and Logan Williams in fourth. Lap cars are not going to be welcomed in the garage area after this one, with all these leaders that were battling for the race lead, and we're catching up to Stuart Grattan. But now I think it's going to be all Stuart Grattan in this one, and we'll see what ends up happening. We saw it yesterday in the National Series race at oh no, we have to pit.
Oh no,
just like last night.
What happened there?
Juan Garcia has to pit.
Was it the tires?
Yeah, Keegan alluded to it. Last pit stop, can these guys make it? I mean, clearly, maybe some of them can't.
If they don't have to, it's going to be a race between 77 and 21 if these two don't have to make that pit stop. But 77 looks like he might be leading in the pit road as well.
Oh, we stay out in the middle with a crossover side by side. Final lap at Rockingham in the advanced Almost 400. Sam Diego's going to try him with the outside lane. He can't make it look a 1-2. He might have a 1 down the back stretch, but he's not going to get there. He might have a shot, but it's not going to be close enough. What on earth is happening? First, we saw that happen last night in the National Series race, and now off turn number 4, 1 Mile Miller will win the advanced Almost 400 at Rockingham.
What did I just watch? Oh my gosh, that was incredible. I didn't think that Stuart Grattan was not going to be able to make it. Well, I don't know if it was fuel. I don't know if it was just worn tires. I assume it was fuel because you got to stay out there. So maybe they just didn't get it filled on the pit stop. But Andrew Miller, though, taking one away. Congrats to him. That's impressive.
Absolute heartbreak for that 47. I do agree. It might have been the fuel because we seen him get that all that ground on Eli Bright. Wasn't a lot because how fast the 42 was, but that 47 maybe just didn't get enough fuel on it by Andrew Miller. Either way, he stole one here.
Stole it might be an understatement. I don't know what has gone on this weekend on the channel. We saw that happen to local millions last night in the National Series race. Was dominating and had to pit late. And the same thing happens to Stuart Grattan, who looks like he's going to dominate late and win. But that's not the case. Don't know what exactly happened to him. I think Eli Bright just decided to just call it down pit road. I think there's a couple of cars. Maybe Eli Bright, maybe Clifton, and then obviously Grattan and Garcia. They could make it on either tires or fuel. I'm not entirely sure what happened. But in a chaotic race, nothing like last year's race, 2 cautions, only 12 cars on the lead lap at one point, now only 11. And Andrew Miller ends up getting what he should have gotten if lap cars didn't mess around with him. But Andrew Miller, a second at Darlington, a first at Rockingham, and he's going to be up there in the point standings. He might even challenge for the point lead after this one, with Jordan others having a rough day. What a wild race. I have no words for what we saw here at Rockingham. The aggression was more anticipated than last year. The passing was more chaotic. Pit strategy was more chaotic, and I think that might have been something with the tire wear. Double the tire wear, and Grattan couldn't make it on those tires and or fuel. What are the final thoughts of a bizarre Advanced Plus 400?
That was crazy. I'm sort of like speechless right now. I can't fathom what I just saw. I mean, Stuart Grattan, just like Keegan said, heartbreak for him. I mean, that's to be leading the race by I think 3 seconds and have to come down pit road. I mean, he still got 11th out of it. Luckily everybody else was a lap down. He didn't lose too much out of it, but yeah, Andrew Miller, very, very lucky, but he was running up front though. He put himself in that position. It's sort of like Phoenix, where he won with few mileage. You could win races in many different ways, and this was one of them. So congrats to Andrew Miller and everybody at Wood Brothers Racing. But crazy race. Everything that you could ever ask for was in that race. Fantastic.
I can't even describe it. That was the most wild ending to a race. Like last season, you've seen a crazy, like a wild race. Like this one is just a crazy ending that you rarely see. And Andrew Miller, he was at the right place at the right time, and he was up front for most of the race. But Stuart Grattan definitely going to think about this one for a long time. Maybe feel some blame, but I think Eli Bright and Stuart Grattan are both going to be pretty upset the way this race ended. But Andrew Miller certainly won't be.
Absolutely. At one point, Eli Bright looked like he was going to run away with it. At one point, it looked like Stuart Grattan was going to run away with it. But at the end of the day, Andrew Miller with the win, and that is second win on the season, both coming on 1 mile racetracks. That means he's not going until New Hampshire. Sorry, Andrew. But what a race here at Rockingham, and what a way to lead into next weekend at, I don't know. What's next weekend? Oh yeah, Talladega. So that's gonna be wild. See what happens there. We got the National Series and the JBL Cup Series at Talladega, and then of course also the Awareness 500 without the restrictor plates, and then the birthday bash at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 4 races in a handful of days, and then after that we can really start focusing on the All-Star race. Top way for Sam Deal, got second, so he's not going to get in with a win here today, but chaotic stuff all day. And Miller, Sam Deal, Williams, Dorn, Wood, Lowe, Wilkinson, Fitzwater, Blight, Clifton, and Graham were the only 11 cars that finished on the lead lap. Thanks for Keegan Thompson and LT for joining me up here in the booth for this one. It's definitely a wild one, and I'm sure we will see more of the same at Talladega next weekend for the JBL Cup Series for the FedEx 500. Congratulations on Animal on the race win, and we will see you guys next weekend at Talladega, Alabama.